Hey everyone, it's Raina, and today I'm very excited because I have a story time video for you. I am having two stories today, and I'm excited. Disclaimer, one of them is kind of creepy, and if you don't want to listen to something kind of creepy, then just stop this video now and go do something else. And please like this video if you like it and enjoy. Let's get on to it. So this first story time, this first story is about the time I was with my best friend, and she was my best friend at the time. We were very, very, very close, and her parents had just split up, and it was a very emotional time for them. So her parents ended up splitting up, and they got two different houses. One with her mom and one with her dad. She would go back and forth. So her dad lived in this little trailer. Lived with her dad that week, and I went to her dad's house to visit the first time ever. And so I went to her dad's house to visit, and it just went bad completely. Okay, so the whole day was pretty good. Like, it was a pretty good impression on the house. I liked it. And then when it got later in the night, we ate dinner, and then we watched Burlesque, the movie. It's about like exotic dancers kind of, but they're not strippers. They're like musical dancers. Anyway, so we watched Burlesque, and then after it we went in her bedroom, and her bedroom is pretty small. So so pretend this is for her bedroom. There's a door, there's a little hallway, like small one, and then there's like back here there's more, like there's a closet here, and then it goes here, and that's like her bed here, like is here. Probably bad representation or whatever. Sorry. But so that's her room. So we were in her room, and we were sitting on her bed here, and no, I was sitting on her bed, and she was like sitting on the floor, like here right next to the bed. And we were just talking, and we started listening to music, and we were having all a good time. And then it's about to get scary. So we were listening to music, and all of a sudden, like, she started looking at the window, and I'm just like looking at her, cause like, okay, so there's the bed, and then there's a little wall, and then there's a window. The window is right next to the bed. Like, if I was sitting on the bed like this way, like this, the window was right behind me. So I was sitting right on the bed, right in front of the window. So it was so scary for me. Okay, so at the window there was, so she was listening to music, and all of a sudden I'd see her just like look at the window and look kind of shocked or confused. She would look at the window like this, like, and then she would like stop listening to music, and then she would look at the window and just be like, what is that? And I'm just like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, nothing, I'm just hallucinating. I'm like, okay. So she looked at it again, and then she was like, oh my god, come on, Raina, we have to go. And I'm just like, what happened? So I look at her, and I'm just like, no, explain to me what happened. And she started screaming. She looked like this, and she was like, ah! So she screamed so loud, and she ran out the door so fast, and she's like, Raina, come on, there's a guy in the window. Okay, so I start freaking out. I'm just like, what the hell? So I looked like so shocked. I was like so scared. I didn't see anything. When we got out of the room, she went to her dad's room, which is like right next to her. She started crying. Oh, and I want to tell you something so funny. Okay, so when I was going out the door, I slipped and fell and hit the wall and fell on the floor. And then when I was trying to get up, I slipped, and that guy was like, he had bounced already. Like, he was gone. Because there was a guy through the window that she was looking at when she was like, this. There was a guy through the window that she was looking at, and he had a flat bill hat on that was backwards, and it had like a blue strap, and it was gray. And he was looking through the window like this. Like, they made eye contact. Like, it was scary as shit. Eye contact. So, after they made eye contact, she screamed or whatever, we went out the door. We went into her dad's room immediately. We started freaking out. I asked her, I'm like, what the hell just happened? Because I was still, like, kind of confused or whatever. I'm just like, what the hell just happened, bro? And she looks at me and she's like, I can't talk about it. And I was like, tell me. And she's like, okay. So, there was a guy through the window, and he was staring at us. And he had been there for a while, because every time I looked over at the window, I thought I saw something, but I thought I was hallucinating. And I'm just like, how long had he been there? Probably 10 minutes. Within that 10 minutes, I had gotten changed. She had gotten changed completely, like no shirt, nothing. I just changed my pants. I was so scared. Like, when something happens to you like that, you just want to die. Like, you feel terrible. You just like, oh my god, that was exposed. What if he was taking videos with his phone? He had his phone taking videos. What if he was doing that? That would have been bad. Ooh, that would have been so bad. And so, I'm freaking out. And, oh, I was so scared. We were in her dad's room, and he was calling the cops. And we were crying, like, because I was, like, getting emotional about her or whatever. She had been crying from the start, and I just started crying. So, it'd been, like, 2 minutes in his room. Or no, 1 minute in his room, and I started crying, because she's been crying ever since, like, she's seen it. Like, right after the scream, she was crying. I was just like, oh my god. So, her dad's calling the cops, and, he and his son, I'm not gonna say names, went around the house and looked everywhere, because they never found him. So, they must have made eye contact, and then he bounced. He freaking ran. Which, he hadn't lived far, because we know some people that, like, live not far from her house, and they had just moved out 2 weeks after this happened. So they knew what was up. They knew they were being seen. They knew that it was one of them. So that was so scary. The cops pull up. Here comes the cops. And I'm kind of talking a little bit, but mostly Brooklyn's talking, because she, like, actually, like, made eye contact with this dude. Like, she knew what, like, kind of hat he was wearing or whatever. And we looked, like, because we went outside by her bedroom window, and her bedroom window was actually pretty tall. So he had to be, like, 6 foot something. Like, he had to be pretty friggin' tall. And then, so that was friggin' scary as hell. So, we found who it was, kind of. Because we figured it was the people who had moved out 2 weeks after. Because, like, yo, they're being seen, they're being looked for, they better get the frick out, or, you know what I mean? So, it was probably the neighbors. Because it was, like, a trailer house, and then another trailer house, and then another trailer house, and then another trailer house. It was the third trailer house. And they had moved out not long after. So, it was probably them. The cops, I don't think the cops found anybody. and I never gotten hold. The cops never called me after that happened.